Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the controversy surrounding Dr. Mehmet Oz? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoy this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of Dr. Mehmet Oz, then I'll move to my analysis. Mehmet Oz was born in Cleveland, Ohio on June 11, 1960. His parents were Turkish immigrants. His father was a medical student in Cleveland when Oz was born. His father went on to train in cardiothoracic surgery in Atlanta, Georgia, before taking a job as a surgeon in the state of Delaware. Therefore, Oz grew up in Wilmington, Delaware. Oz spent summers in Turkey when he was a child. He has dual citizenship, the United States and Turkey. Oz graduated from a high school in Delaware and then attended Harvard University to study biology. He graduated in 1982. Oz married in 1985. He and his wife went on to have 4 children. In 1986, Oz earned an MD and an MBA from the University of Pennsylvania. He found work as a medical resident at a hospital in New York City. In 1995, Oz and one of his coworkers started a care center delivering alternative medicine to people with heart disease. He used something called the therapeutic touch, which is a pseudoscientific energy therapy designed to reduce pain and anxiety. In 1996, Oz and a surgeon named Eric Rose gained attention from the media after performing a heart transplant for the brother of a New York Yankees manager. Eric would later say that he didn't like the attention, but Oz loved it. In 2001, Oz took a job as a professor at Columbia University. During his career there, he published several articles and developed a number of devices and procedures to be used in heart surgery. In 2004, Oz started his television career by appearing on the Oprah Winfrey Show. He did this for 5 seasons before Oprah offered to give him his own TV series called The Dr. Oz Show. Many statements Oz made on his show led to controversy. I will talk more about this in the analysis. The Dr. Oz Show ended in January 2022. It was a commercial success, despite being a failure on the scientific level. It is estimated that Oz has a net worth somewhere between $76 million and $500 million. In 2010, Oz and a businessman named Jeff Arnold started a company called ShareCare. This company provides health-related information to consumers and has had its share of controversy. In 2015, Oz was the target of a mini-rebellion at Columbia University when 10 physicians accused him of having a disdain for science and for evidence-based medicine. Referring to Oz, one physician said, "He has manifested an egregious lack of integrity by promoting quack treatments and cures in the interest of personal financial gain," unquote. The group demanded that Oz be fired, but Columbia University protected Oz under the guise of academic freedom. In November 2021, Oz announced that he was running for the United States Senate, representing Pennsylvania. He was running as a Republican, therefore he sought the Republican nomination. Donald Trump endorsed his campaign in April 2022. The next month, Columbia University cut all ties with Oz. On May 17, the Republican primary was held, and the election was close, so it triggered a mandatory recount. Prior to the completion of the recount, Oz declared himself victorious, which was a risky move, but in the end, Oz did actually win the Republican nomination. At the time making this video, Oz is running against a Democrat named John Fetterman, who had a stroke in May of 2022. The stroke prevented Fetterman from participating in a debate against Oz. The Oz campaign released a statement which said, quote, "If John Fetterman had ever eaten a vegetable in his life, then maybe he wouldn't have had a major stroke and wouldn't be in the position of having to lie about it constantly," unquote. Fetterman replied to this, suggesting that Oz was making fun of him for being a stroke survivor. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. Over the years, Oz has shifted his political position a few times. In 2007, he referred to himself as a moderate Republican and compared himself to Arnold Schwarzenegger. In 2021, he called himself a conservative Republican. After winning the primary, he described himself as a moderate leader, but not passive. Apparently, the changes in his position have not gone unnoticed. For example, 71% of Pennsylvania voters who participated in a survey in September of 2022 indicated that they believed Oz says what he thinks voters want to hear. I don't think this is really a shocking result. All politicians do this. Item number 2. As I mentioned in the background, Oz is a big fan of the pseudoscientific treatment called the therapeutic touch. This is an energy therapy where a practitioner is trained to be sensitive to energy fields that surround the body. Physical contact is not required. It's not clear how this therapy is supposed to work. What does it mean to be sensitive to an energy field? Is a practitioner supposed to be able to sense the energy field, or are they supposed to avoid hurting the feelings of the energy field? Like the energy field is having a bad day, and the practitioner is trying to be understanding and caring. Either way, there is no scientific reason to believe that the therapeutic touch does anything except waste time and money. Studies show that self-proclaimed therapeutic touch healers are unable to detect energy fields, despite claiming that they can. It would be more accurate to call the therapeutic touch the non-therapeutic money removal treatment system. In this regard, it is very successful. I don't know about practitioners detecting energy fields, but they are very good at detecting money. Item number 3. Oz has been criticized for promoting pseudoscience. For example, he repeatedly promoted nonsense on his television show. A research study published in 2014 examined recommendations which were made on the Dr. Oz show. The study found believable or somewhat believable evidence for 33% of 80 randomly selected recommendations. 15% of the recommendations actually contradicted science. Oz had a number of guests on his show who did not really seem to fit with a pro-science ideology. For example, faith healers, psychics, anti-vaccination conspiracy theorists, and people who were desperately trying to sell unsupported medical treatments, or treatments which were flat out exposed as false. Here are some of the controversial treatments promoted on the Dr. Oz show. A disproven weight loss strategy involving a hormone and 500 calories a day, an herbal weight loss product that has been shown to cause liver damage, using lavender soap to cure leg cramps, a trace mineral that was supposed to prevent cancer, putting heated rice in socks to cure insomnia. Just to be clear, this is rice-in, not ricin. Ricin is a poison, although I guess technically it would cure insomnia because dead people rarely complain about not sleeping. But again, Oz wasn't talking about ricin, he was talking about rice, like the food. Interestingly, Oz was sued by a man who tried the technique and burned his feet with the rice. On one show in 2012, when talking about an alternative weight loss strategy, Oz promoted a disproven weight loss scam when he said, quote, "You may think magic is make-believe, but this little bean has scientists saying they found the magic weight loss cure for every body type. It's green coffee beans, and when they're turned into a supplement, this miracle pill can burn fat fast for anyone who wants to lose weight," unquote. It's clear that Oz wants people to believe in magic, make-believe, and miracles. He even went so far as to tell people to believe in a magic bean. So it seems like he's a big fan of fairy tales. Item number 4. In 2014, Oz was questioned by a Senate subcommittee about his unproven claims on the topic of dietary supplements. A senator said to him, quote, "I don't know why you need to say this stuff, because you know it's not true. Why, when you have this amazing megaphone and this amazing ability to communicate, would you cheapen your show by saying things like that?" Unquote. I think what the senator and others did not realize is that Oz became famous because he promoted nonsense. If he had made scientifically supported statements all the time, he would have never survived on daytime TV. Oz is yet another pseudoscientific nonsense broker promoted by Oprah Winfrey, and his behavior follows the typical pattern of people who she has put in business. Oprah knows how to attract a large audience, and she knows that rational thought is not what does it. Item number 5. I don't know if Oz will win the Senate seat in Pennsylvania, but John Fetterman is a very weak opponent. On one occasion in 2013, when Fetterman was the mayor of Braddock, Pennsylvania, he thought he heard gunshots. He ran out of his home and saw a black man jogging down the street. Fetterman climbed into his pickup truck and chased the man. When the man would not stop, Fetterman produced a 20-gauge shotgun and detained him until the police arrived. The police searched the jogger and found that he was unarmed. He was released. This incident sounds a lot like the Arbery case in Georgia, where white men chased down a black jogger and killed him with a shotgun. In the case of John Fetterman, no shots were fired, but still, its resemblance to the Georgia case is chilling. Fetterman was not a police officer and had no authority to detain someone with a weapon or detain someone at all. Fetterman later admitted that he may have broken the law, yet he was never charged. The liberal media has largely ignored this damaging story about Fetterman, but has reported every mistake that Oz has ever made. Item number 6. What do I think is going on in the case of Mehmet Oz? I think that Oz became popular because he was telling people what they wanted to hear. I've talked before in other videos about how some people simply need to believe things that are unproven and untrue. The harshness of reality is more than some people can take. This includes the fact that death is inevitable. Rather than face the truth of existence, some people choose to believe in magic and fantasy. They believe that alternative treatments will extend their life by many years and cure all types of diseases. This allows them to feel better and more optimistic about the future. Specifically on the topic of weight loss, many people struggle to lose weight for a variety of reasons. For some people, the ideas of physical activity and eating right are not really that appealing. They look for other ways to get around the laws of biology and physics. The Dr. Oz show gave these people hope. He featured products that supposedly led to weight loss simply through consuming them. No other lifestyle changes were required. This was music to some people's ears. Because Oz is a physician, he had a lot of credibility. This made it easy for people to believe what he was saying. I think that Oz enjoys being a celebrity and enjoys being wealthy. He wants to be the center of attention. He did not want to risk losing his audience by recommending scientifically supported treatments, and I think at some level, Oz really does believe in the pseudoscientific nonsense that he promoted. In one sense, Oz is simply another victim of the seductiveness of the celebrity lifestyle. He has hidden behind the idea that he was just trying to give people hope. He was just trying to welcome open and honest conversations with all kinds of people. In reality, he knew that he was making himself and all professionals look bad. He eroded the credibility of practitioners who adhere to scientific principles. Now moving to my final thoughts. The Senate race between Oz and Fetterman is another example of voters choosing between two highly flawed candidates. I don't know which candidate will better represent the will of the voters in Pennsylvania, but no matter who they vote for, they are going to have to forgive indiscretions. I think this connects to a salient concept about the political process. Every person makes mistakes, therefore every candidate is flawed. People have to decide what's really important to them, which positive and negative attributes actually matter. Elections are not about finding a perfect candidate, rather about learning to live with an imperfect one. Those are my thoughts on the controversy surrounding Mehmet Oz. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.